We have a scandal going on in the volleyball world. Kind of. Less than 2 weeks away from the start of the 2026 men's VNL, a member of the Japanese men's volleyball team has been arrested and is in custody of Japanese police. 26-year-old Sunichiro Sato was arrested on suspicion of drug possession after a bag that is allegedly his was found containing cannabis or weed. Now, for those of you who don't know, cannabis is very illegal in Japan. Earlier this week, Shunichiro Sato visited a pachinko parlor. And now a pachinko parlor, from what I'm learning, is essentially a mix of like a casino or a bit of an arcade. Sato was there with a few other people, and he left his bag there. And after reviewing and looking at the context of the bag, they found fragments of cannabis in his bag. Now, at this time, Sato has not denied these allegations. It looks like he is in custody of the Tokyo police, and they are waiting to see drug test results with him. Allegedly as well, he was also with other players from the Japanese men's national team. But according to the JVA president in a post on Instagram earlier today, it looks like none of the other alleged players have ever played in the VNL or in the World Championships. Now, there's also some repercussions for the rest of the Japanese team. It looks like all of their belongings and all of their bags were searched for any other drug paraphernalia. None was found. And it seems like the rest of the team will actually also have to undergo drug testing to see if they have also been partaking. Now, there's been some rumors through the Discord that says all of the players have passed, but I haven't seen that for my own eyes in a press release or anything. So let's just leave it as it is for the moment. Now, Sunichiro Sato is in his third year, from what I understand, with the Japanese men's team, and he also played for the Nagoya Wolf Dogs this past season. And it's very interesting if you go to the Wolf Dogs website, he has already been taken off of their roster. And, even if though it's from last year's roster, you can no longer find him on their website. It's the same thing on the SV League website. Sato did appear in 44 matches and 151 sets this year for Nagoya. He averaged 1.8 points per set, and he was 29th in blocking this year in the SV League with 42 blocks, averaging 0.31 blocks per set. He also appeared in the VNL last summer, scoring 57 points over the course of 10 appearances. Now, honestly, if you want my take, as someone from Canada, I think it's wild we're still out here arresting people for cannabis or marijuana. I live in a country where it is completely legal. I went for a walk this morning and counted about 15 dispensaries on the 20-minute walk I went on, and I promise you there is many more cannabis dispensaries in Canada than there are liquor stores. Once again, this is just my own take on this matter. It's really hard to see this as an actual crime. As the war on drugs is starting to change its tune. Over 50 countries around the world legalize cannabis in some way or another, whether it's for recreational or medical purposes. So it's really wild to me that someone can be jailed and have their life and career ruined for something that I can walk 200 meters to go buy in a shop right now. Now, if you're an OG to Volleyball Source, you may know that I did enjoy partaking once in a while. I don't anymore, just for my own reasons, but I definitely don't demonize it at all. And I will tell you that consuming cannabis or smoking marijuana is pretty common among athletes. We see it all the time here, especially in North America, where NBA or NFL superstars talk about consuming cannabis, whether it's before games or after games. And it's pretty normal. And I can also tell you it's actually pretty normal in the volleyball world as well. Now, this isn't from the indoor side of things, but I do remember a time back in 2016, right after the Rio Olympics, where the FIVB was hosting the 2016 Beach World Tour Finals here in Toronto. And now for all of you indoor-only people, the World Tour Finals is the year-end tournament where you have to qualify as one of the best players on the tour that year to play in this year-end event. So it is the best of the best of beach volleyball. Now, for the record, cannabis is still a prohibited drug in the eyes of the IOC and is something that you can get tested for as an international level athlete. So let's put that out there. But given these athletes were coming to Canada, and this was just right on the cusp of legalizations, this is right after it had happened here in Canada, there was a number of them who I guess wanted to partake a little. And as someone who was kind of known as being someone who enjoyed to partake, I was kind of asked to procure some for some of these athletes. And it did kind of all culminate at the end of the event at a party where there was a number of us standing outside, partaking and indulging together, just having a laugh and having a chat. Now, once again, these were some of the best athletes in the world. There was literally Olympic medalists with us, and it was no issue at all. Especially since, it was the end of the year, it was the end of the season, it was the end of an Olympic quad. These athletes just wanted a little bit of a chance to release some steam and, take it easy a little bit. So all this to say, once again, it is illegal in the eyes of the IOC, and it is something athletes are tested for. But if you're sitting at home and seeing this as a moral issue and looking down on Shinichiro Sato as a morally wrong person, I do implore you to do a little bit of research, right? Because when you look at medical journals and what they have to say about cannabis, this one study from the National Library of Medicine, and I'm assuming this is in the United States, says there is no direct evidence of performance-enhancing effects in athletes. The potential beneficial effects of cannabis as part of a pain management protocol, including reducing concussion-related symptoms, deserve further attention. So as we know more and more about cannabis, it's a little bit crazy that it's still demonized on this level, not only by the IOC, but in countries around the world where you can get jailed for having just a little bit of it, when we know it's much safer than alcohol, which is easily procured and, just normal to use, not only amongst athletes, but with the general public as well. And cannabis could be a non-performance enhancing way to help these athletes, whether it's with pain tolerance or just with the general inflammation issues. Now, regardless of how I feel on the matter, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Sato should be released, right? Countries have laws, and every country and every culture is different. And as someone who has never been to Japan and only knows Japan through the eyes of its volleyball culture, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is so wrong and terrible that he has been arrested. It's just so far removed from my reality. Like, once again, I can go for a walk right now and I guarantee you I will smell cannabis openly being smoked on the streets. And this is by pretty much everyone where I live. So it's just generally pretty hard to wrap my head around. I just think it really sucks that someone's career and life is being ruined because of something that is widely used in many places around the world. But at the same time, like, laws are laws. And as someone who is in the public eye, especially athletes, you're held to a higher standard. That is the reality of this situation. If you are an athlete, you are held to a higher standard, especially in a place like Japan, where the culture is very conservative and their volleyball players have a big scrutiny on them. Honestly, to me, I think that one of the biggest crimes here is the fact that he actually got caught. Like, if you know it's that illegal, and if you're going to want to risk your career and your life in that way, just take it with you. Make sure you have it on you, because otherwise you're going to get caught just like this, just for being a little stupid. And this has also been a bit of a bad run of PR for Japan, which are, basically the media darlings of the volleyball world, one of the most wholesome teams and countries in the volleyball world, right? There's other teams, I don't need to name them, who are well known for partying and maybe some run-ins with the law, but we would never really expect this from Japan. But I mean, first, they completely crashed out last year at the World Championships, not making it out of the pool. Then we had the whole Ron Takahashi scandal in the fall, where he was caught cheating on one of his partners with a JAV, not to be confused with the JVA actress, which is essentially a porn actress. And now you have Sato being arrested right as the season is about to start, right at the time when they were supposed to have their year beginning press conference, and the entire eyes of the country and the volleyball world are on them. It sounds like the vibes right now around the Japanese men's team because of this event are very tense. So I'm really wondering how it is going to affect their start at the VNL in just about a week and a half's time.